Good morning, everybody. Back out digging again. It's my birthday today. Yay, happy birthday me. So I thought I'd treat myself and come dig into one of my favourite spots, which is the British Army dump. The guys that dig this place regularly have opened up a new site, a new hole in the area, and they've started uncovering some pretty good stuff. As we can see in here, this is stuff I've just picked up off the surface. Lee-enfield bakelite scabbards, lee-enfield number 1 ends, some Lewis hand grips there, butt plates. This looks like a mount for a, could be a 50 or a 30 cal. More scabbards, stuff like that, lying around on the surface. So I've had a word with the guys that dig here. The main chap, and he's pointed out an area where he wants digging down, so I've just started digging down and we've already having stuff coming out. I've hardly beneath the surface at all. There's another lee-enfield spike bayonet scabbard, another bit of one, and this is starting to come down and I'm only a couple of inches down. There's the remains of another bakelite scabbard. Lots of different things coming out, so we'll keep digging and see how we get on. I shall get back to you in a bit. So I'm just expanding the hole that I started with earlier. I'm sat at the back of the hole now. I've come down about, only about 2.5 feet. And I've just turned through 180 degrees to do the wall behind me to give me room to spread out. And I've hit a seam of brass again. So these are all, gracious, these are all Kersling buckles, bits from the cloth belt from Vickers machine guns. Loads of those, and this seam is quite deep, and the stuff looks like it's possibly been burnt, but all in all it's not in bad nick. With a bit of cleaning, a bit of TLC, these will come back to shiny brass if you want them to. I do half mine in shiny brass and half of my levers relic, just give them a bit of a wash. But yeah, so we're into a seam of brass now. So I'll work through this and then turn back round and go into the other face, because that was producing lots of spike bayonet, bakelite scabbards and other pieces as well, which I'll show you in a bit. Okay. Just start digging for a minute just to show you the extent of this seam of Kersling buckles and Vickers cloth belt brass strips. You can see it's still going down here, and there are just hundreds and hundreds and thousands of Kersling buckles, lee-enfield sling buckles, just so much of it in here, and it's still going over this way. So let's keep digging through it. You may recall a couple of years back I came here and ended up with over 50 kilograms of these Kersling buckles. So I'm not collecting a huge quantity of them. I'm just leaving them for the guys that regularly dig the site, because they were after some as well. So really it's a case of just working through the seam and then getting back to the direction I wanted to go in the first place. At least I always know that there's a great big seam of brass behind me if I need it. If I don't find anything the other way. Right, let's keep going. So I've moved over from that hole over there now, because you may recall from the last video I did, we found some 50 cal Vickers 50 cal strips and the starter tabs, and I could see a few poking out the side of the hole where we thought the seam had finished. Yeah, the seam hadn't finished at all. It petered out for a bit and then it got going again. So these are all the brass strips and starter tabs from Vickers 50 cal, and it's still going underneath there. So what I'm going to do is take this top bit off and then get at it a bit better. But that's an awful lot of Vickers 50 cal brass strips and starter tabs. A lot of it is very clean though. I mean, it looks dirty to the eye, but all you got to do is that, look, and you're back to brass. Just a slight bit of surface corrosion. So all these will need is wash in hot soapy water. Don't even think I need to rock tumble these. Look at that, it's just coming straight off. Awesome, get back to digging them out. They're back home now after the dig. Very successful it was too. Good birthday. What we got? We've got Longley and lee-enfield butt plates. Brenner oil bottle there with some other oil bottles, and then that thing just there is a Sten Mark 1 flash hider, or at least the remains of it. Then that clamp looks like it might be from a Piat, although probably not, it's probably a piece of junk. And we've got some Lewis machine gun spade grips, and then that thing there looks like a mount for a machine gun, possibly a Browning. We've got lee-enfield number 1 nose caps, an unidentified magazine, don't know what that's off yet, and then that bit there is very interesting, that's number 1 end, or what's left of it, and there is actually a very small piece of barrel left in it, which is quite interesting. And those two there, rear sight protectors, look like Thompson, but again, I have to identify them later. Lots of buckles, Kersling, lee-enfield, sling buckles, that sort of thing. Normal starter tabs for the Browning M1917 and Vickers 303. Then we've got Bakelite Victory spike bayonet scabbards, number 4s I believe. And then we've got these round ones, the tubular ones should I say, again made in Bakelite, lee-enfield. Now you may recall from the last video we found a Vickers 50 cal seam where we were finding all the pieces from the cloth belts. We thought the seam had petered out, but about 2 feet where the seam stopped, it started again. So you can see I've got rather a lot. There's about, God, I can't even lift it with my foot. There's about 30 kilos of them in there. So it's all the brass strips from the Vickers 50 cal cloth belt and all the starter tabs. Must be another 100 starter tabs there. And then also, as it was my birthday, I got given these by the landowner. So I've got lots more number 1 ends. Rear sights, K98 down there, look, magazine and trigger guard. We've got Longley butt plates, K98 butt plates, Brenner oil bottles, lee-enfield number 4 end. Those 2 Bakelite pieces there are from the MP40. And we've got these 2 pieces, these are solid completely, so they're not section 5, these are from the lee-enfield practice rifle. And we've got a multi-tool from something and a rear sight from something. It goes up to 4,500 yards, so I'm presuming it's something like a Vickers. So yeah, there we go really. What else? Oh, one more thing, 2 more things. We've got lots of lee-enfield oil bottles, including one of the early World War I ones, and then that there appears to be a Luger magazine. So a bloody good day all in all. There's an awful lot of cleaning there. An awful lot of cleaning. Better get started on it I suppose.